Let's watch this video of teachers putting children to work for their own political needs. That is definitely adults have a right to children. Okay, and they do this in communism. They, like I was taught as a child to stand up for racism. And I called my grandpa a racist in public at 12 years old as if that's appropriate. But I was encouraged to do it from school. Just saying. It's a problem. Okay. Sorry, like, wait, what? Wait, I have 3 kids. What do you mean break that kids belong to their parents? In Germany, homeschooling is illegal. Well, Germany has a history of being quite controlling, right? I mean, wow. Break this idea that kids belong to their what? That's what? But that goes along with adults have a right to children, which Carl Jung, and we're going to show in a second, that is unhealthy, not psychologically sound. That's ego inflation and not ego humility. And ego inflation is the mental illness. Right? Do whole communities pay for and take care of when they're crying and sick? Did a whole community take care of my 3 kids? Because they weren't here. What do you mean whole community? What? That's communism. That's the Industrial Revolution took hold of our children. That's why the Supreme Court had to step in, give women the right to vote, and the women independent, and then send them to the workforce, and then take the kids, put them in daycare, separate them. Then they sent the kids to work at 8, 9 years old. So the kids were fueling the Industrial Revolution. That's adults have a right to kids. Do you think that's healthy? What parents aren't in charge of what's being taught? Right. I mean, when that happens, this is the problem that we're having, like all the LGBT in the schools, all the asking a 5-year-old, what's your pronoun? As if that's healthy. Shoving, talking about sex and having elementary school kids having access to books with sex and sodomy. That's healthy? How many LGBTQ kind of protests have you seen? They've said, we're coming for your children. Did you know that the queer theory includes the destruction of the nuclear family, as does now National Organization for Women, the Charter, destruction of the nuclear family. And the early feminists, like in this, not early, but the feminists like in the 60s and 70s, were arguing they had to force women to abandon their families. It's the only way women could be free. Well, where's the next generation going to come from? And what do you mean free? Free from being a feminine woman? Whoa. So I'm going to stop sharing this here because it just gets to be a bit much for me. We're coming for your children. No, you're friggin' not. Okay, so let's just go to ChatGPT and do a deep dive into Carl Jung. And because I asked this question, the sentence, we don't have a right to children, they have a right to us. I put that in because exactly what the woman said in the video is deeply resonant from a Jungian perspective, okay? Jung would likely hear it not as political rhetoric, but as a statement about psychological responsibility, projection, and individuation.